All right, welcome to tonight's Say Weekly call, question and answer session. Let me check and see who's here. And we've got all right. I want to make sure before we get going that you can hear. I've got my camera on and hi, good. I can see. All right, two of you. Hello. And I want to make sure you can hear me and see me. I've got my camera on and you should be able to hear me. Just type a yes. Okay, good. You can hear and see me. All right, so this is, I'm going to open it up right at the beginning here for, questions. How are things coming along as far as your ads and products and your store, wherever you are in getting things set up. If you have any, so this is a time for if you've got products that you want me to critique, videos that you want me to critique, you want me to take a look at your store, so I can make sure, look at the checkout. Yeah, but just post your questions in the chat. That's the place to put them. Put all your questions in the chat and I'll go through and address everything. All right. So share your store URL if you want me to take a look. The chat is not it's not public, so nobody else can see the chat. I'm the only one that can see chat. So put your questions in. All right. Okay, so how will you know what price you will set in your product that you will sell? How can I bet? Okay, so first off, with a product, my preference is to have be able to charge 3 times cost for the product. That's my preferred. At minimum, 50%. And okay, how can I best research and know, because I'm not in the USA myself? It doesn't matter where you are. So I want enough money. I want to make enough money on the product that I can afford to pay for the advertising and have a profit left over. So that's really critical. So that's all in the product training. There's product selection training where I go through the pricing in there. Okay, it doesn't matter where you are in the world. I've worked with people all over the world, and it's the same thing anywhere. So you can't now understand, and I go through this in the product training section. You're not going to be able to charge 3 times. So you can't just pick just anything, mark it up three times, and just sell it. So so there's got to be some reason why you pick the product. So we want something ideally. So let me just go through the ideal kind of product, and this is also in the training, in the product selection training. So you want something that's not too big, so it's easy to transport. So for example, if you wanted to sell a kayak, as just an example, that's really big, and it's going to take a big box to ship, and it's going to be really expensive to ship. So now if I'm going to sell a I just have some stuff here on my desk. So I've got this flashlight. This is not all that big, but it's not really small. This is probably somewhere in between, something big and small. But what we want is something that we can mark up as that has a high perceived value. So if I'm going to sell a pen, just a pen for that you write with, if it's just a piece of plastic, it has a low perceived value. So something like a flashlight I typically stay away from it because it's just a common thing. Now, like a cell phone has a high perceived value because it does quite a lot of things. But so this is where I caution people about what you're picking. So if the product that you're picking, if it's just a cheap looking piece of plastic, unless it does something really, really, different, that it is a good item to sell, if it's just a piece of plastic that does something really, really simple, it probably does not have a high perceived value. And for example, I sell an accessory, but it's very small, and it fits in a very small box. It's very inexpensive to ship. It's made out of aluminum. It's machined aluminum, but it's an accessory for another item, and it has a high perceived value. So for this little piece of machined aluminum, it's really small, it's cheap to ship. I get them for $10 a piece, and I can sell them for $32.95. And so that's my preference, is to have something where my cost is low, the perceived value is high, and then I'm making a large profit on it. That's the ideal. Not every product fits into that, and that's just where it's. And if you're totally brand new to this, don't expect to have a completely, absolutely successful product your first try. It usually takes several tries to get something that works real well. Okay. For the product selection videos, I recommend that you watch all of them. Okay, so go through them all. I talk about there's a series of videos where I show my samples, but for the product selection, I'd recommend watching all of those. Okay. Which video in the training is for how to form your copy on the ad? That's it. It's in the ad copy training. There, it's a video inside there. So that is also you can apply that to setting up your product page on your store as well. But if you're brand new to Shopify, you want to start picking products and start getting your store set up, the ad copy is not something that really comes into play right away. That's not when you are working on your video, then you need to start working on your ad copy, because what you use as the text callouts will be part of the video. So if you're totally new, get your store set up, and go through there's a fairly step-by-step setup of your store with a free theme. And the theme it's not the most beautiful theme in the world, but that theme works very well with mobile devices, and it converts very well. So the conversion rate on that theme, although it doesn't look like it's all that great, it is very good. It converts traffic very well on mobile devices, and so that's a good theme, and it's free. And okay, my store has been set up for quite a while now. Can I advertise successfully using static pictures while waiting for the delivery of my products? You can certainly try that out. It's the only difference between a video ad and an image ad is that in a video you upload a video, in an image ad you upload a photo. The way you do the copy and the headlines and all those things are the same. However, you just need to use an image. You can try it if the product. Now, some products may be okay with a image ad. Things like if it's a print-on-demand item, that might work fine. If it's something that's when you see the image, that it will be easy to understand, then those kinds of things work. But if it's anything that requires any sort of demonstration or explanation of how to use it, then you will need a video. Okay. I do not recommend making a video using pictures of the product from AliExpress. I just don't find those work very well. And sometimes I've seen them work worse than static images. Like what's called a slideshow. I don't recommend doing that. I just do a static image. All right. Okay, I have a lot of questions. Can you explain how, when an order comes in, do I place it manually with vendor? Yes. So if you, now, I'm assuming that you're going to use AliExpress. But AliExpress is not mandatory. You can use any company you want. So the what do you call it? So if you're using AliExpress, so an order comes into your store and someone purchases a product on your store, now that order needs to be now you need to place an order with that supplier. So if it's AliExpress, you can manually do it. You could just type in the address of your customer instead of your own and order the product and check out, and then it'll get shipped to your customer. There's products like Oberlo or Shopify app that will kind of like 90% automate the fulfillment. So if Oberlo do not understand the process. So I'm primarily what I have in my training is the training to sell the product with a paid advertising. Oberlo and Shopify app and Abandonment Protector, Trackify, it's important that you follow their instructions on how to use their product. So I know I know for sure that Dropify has excellent training on how to use their product to fulfill orders. So when it comes to using a third-party app, it's important that you follow their instructions, because they will be, they update their program all the time, and so things change, and so it's best to follow with their instructions. Okay, if there were lots of orders in the future, if there's lots of orders in the future, would I order each one manually from the vendor? Yes, yes. But that's Oberlo and the Shopify app. It used to be called the Shopify app, but it's now called the Dropify. And so those, I prefer Dropify. I find it to be a superior product. And inside of Dropify, what it does is it'll like do 99% of the work for you. You just have to select the orders. And there's you have to click a couple things, but it will automatically copy and paste all the customer's address. It'll select the right product. It'll add all those products onto your cart on AliExpress. So that's what the Dropify app does and Oberlo does. I typically recommend that you start off with Oberlo, because you can do it for free for a period of time, and then when you get to the point where you're fulfilling more than 5 or 6 orders a day, I recommend switching over to Dropify. It is just so much better than Oberlo. But Oberlo will get you started without an extra charge. But by all means, if you want to, you can sign up for Dropify, but there is a charge. Yep. Yes, video names. So e-commerce products, advanced product selection. Yep. Products use Google image search. So using Google image. So the whole part, when I say product selection, is actually choosing what you're going to sell. So part of that is to actually find ways to get inspiration to find products. So one of the things where it says use Google image search is something that I use to get ideas for product selection. So, I could, as we all know, AliExpress or some other platform, those are all primarily search engines. So those are only as good as what your terms are when you're searching. What I like what I show in that video about product selection and using the Google image search is it puts me into when I see an ad on Facebook, I click through the ad, look at the product on the store. Now I'm not doing this. I don't copy somebody else's product, but what I do is I do a Google image search and try to find that product on AliExpress. But for the purpose of getting me into a search term or a category on AliExpress where I wouldn't have otherwise gone. And so in that way, I'm able to find other products. So I'll look at the product that was being advertised. I'll scroll down. I'll look at the products that vendor is selling, other products the vendor is selling. I'll look at the products that are from related sellers. And from there, I have gotten all sorts. Some of my best products ideas have come from using seeing an ad on Facebook, thinking that, hey, that's a great, cool product. Maybe I can find something better or different or something kind of like it, but better. And then I click through, do the Google image search, and there I am. I'm in AliExpress in a place where I would not have otherwise thought of. And that has been one of my most successful methods to find products to sell, because I'm not selling the same thing that I saw advertised. I'm selling something that's maybe like 2 steps to the left. It's maybe a little bit different. And then I found lots of great things that way. Let's see. And yeah, attributes of successful products, all those things. As time goes by and I get a lot of questions on products, I've done different videos to get people to think about products in a different way. So there's always, okay, I mean, I know this is like the big question for just about everybody that's doing this brand new is like, okay, I've got this shop, I've set up the Shopify store, I want to sell products. What should I sell? And so I can't, of course, if I told you what to sell, then everybody here would be selling the same thing, and that wouldn't come out very well. So, and it's important that anyone doing e-commerce learns how to pick products, so you can, do it. You can do it you've got to be able to do this on your own without. So the understanding the attributes, things like, pricing it correctly. Of course, you don't want to pick a product that's difficult to demonstrate. So if it's like, I showed this example of a flashlight, but I mean, a flashlight may just seem like a simple thing, but this is a difficult item to demonstrate, because it needs to really see what it does, or to effectively show it, it needs to be dark. So now if I turn off all the lights and I shine a light, then you don't see the flashlight that's actually doing it. So I don't recommend things that shine in the dark. That's more difficult to demonstrate. If you're found a really great headset, I mean, that's video is a visual medium, and it's much more difficult to demonstrate a product that emits sound. Okay. All right, so let me keep going. So which video is that you make? All these. Okay, so definitely you want to watch all the product selection videos. So the advanced product selection, watch that. Use Google image search, watch that. Attributes of successful products, watch that. All of them. Okay, so they're and yeah, those are all great. You need to. It's just not one thing is going to make you. You're going to watch those. And you may want to watch them again in a few weeks, because the whole product selection is a skill all in its own that takes practice. Okay. Hi, Frank. Just joined up last week. Have been going through the videos. How would you make sure the products don't have the vendor's price on it? So far, of the probably hundreds of thousands of things that I've drop shipped, I've yet to have any issue with that. So I don't do anything about it because it's not a problem. All right. Okay. Would there be, I mean, you can put a little note in there, say, just basically, like in Dropify, I think the first time I set it up, I put a note. There's a place for notes, and it says no invoice. Yeah, it just says please do not include invoice. Something like that in the in there. It's just So that's like Oberlo and Dropify will automate this. So I only had to set that one time, and I think that's also in the. I got the idea from the Dropify instructions when I set it up the first time. Okay, so would there be a problem if I start with Oberlo and change to Dropify? Not at all. In fact, Dropify has a little an option built in to actually convert your Oberlo setup into Dropify. So Dropify is designed as it's a far better program, and they've designed it so it will make it easy for you to upgrade from Oberlo, because a lot of their customers come from Oberlo. Okay, if you want to the sample to get to me fast, what can I use for service? Okay, if you want to get a whole bunch of things fast, then what you can do is you can find a seller that has multiple items that you would like to buy or potentially test, and then pay the price for DHL shipping. So that's probably going to be like $40 to $60 for the shipping. That's the way you get it faster. But what I recommend is every week order, like 2 to 5 items every week, and that way you're always going to have this constant amount of things coming in. So if you want some things faster right now, order a handful of things that you found, maybe 2 to 5 things. If you can find, a bunch of them from the same place, just have them ship them all to you DHL. In the United States, it's usually by the time I order it to the time I get it, it's probably 4 or 5 days. And because they, by the time they pack it and then they get it wherever, and then it shows up here, usually within 4 to 5 days, if I do DHL. And I've done that a lot myself. Okay, yeah, I'm not sure where you live. Amazon, it depends on where you live, what you can get on Amazon. But you could certainly pay for the expedited, a much faster service like FedEx or DHL. It's just costs more money, and that's the only way you're going to get something faster, is to spend more on the shipping. Okay, when starting to find products and to see which one, and this one that will not. Okay, can I have them on the same store and Facebook page, even if another niche? Yeah. Okay. So it's up to you if you want to sell everything on the same page. That's fine, or make it a different page for each product or niche. That's fine also. That's a personal decision. What I do is I make a page per product. So I just set up a brand new product today. I had a video that I finished editing, and I created a page for the product I'm selling. And it is the name of the page is kind of what the product is. So the imagery, the page name, that's my preference, but you can certainly make a store page and sell everything there too. That's good too. Either way will work. The most important thing is the product. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, you can have. I recommend when you're brand new, when you set up a store, is what I call what I call a general store, where you can have multiple niches inside. So just that way you can try lots of different products to sell. All right. So. Okay, question here. Do you use a personal web domain or just Shopify? I always never use the Shopify domain ever. That is never do that. So always you need to come up with a name of your store, and I recommend a .com domain. Okay, so never use the Shopify.com domain. It's important when you're doing paid advertising. Always, it's like my rule in life, and I've been doing paid advertising on the internet since 2003. It's like my personal rule is always send paid traffic to my own domain. I never send paid traffic to somebody else's domain. It comes to my domain. That's important. You always pick a domain. .com. Shopify store name is long on. Okay, yeah, don't just get a domain in there. But I have nothing on my site, just domain. Okay, what do you mean by nothing? If you've set up no products, if you followed my instructions, there's a little file you can download. You can download a whole bunch of products just to get your store looking like it's not empty, and that's in the Shopify setup. Okay, just questioning if I drive business to Shopify. Yep, you definitely need a domain for your store. Pick a .com domain. All right, so Lucia's got a product here. I'm looking at product number 1, and oh, that looks really cool to me. Just you'll have to. Just so you know, I mean, I'm not a coffee drinker, so I don't know if this is a big deal or not. So, I mean, is this actually? I guess my question is always, does this actually solve a problem that needs solving? So if the answer is yes, then it may be a good product to try. So I'm not going to know everything that is going to work, but I like something like that. If it's a solution that needs solving, then that might be a good product. All right. So next one, it would take 15 days until they reach me, and that is why I ask. Right. So, I mean, I order something from AliExpress. It usually gets to me, between 9 days and 14 days. So it's not that much different for me either. I'm in California, so 9 days to 14 days. So that's why I order samples on a regular basis. So I always make it part of what I do each week to select a number of products and order them on a regular basis. That way I've got something coming in. Okay. Okay, here it says, hi Frank, it just joined a few days ago. How do we protect store brand name from competitors once product becomes successful? Okay, well, there's no way to, first off, I've never seen anybody take somebody's brand name on your store. So if you're brand new to Shopify, this is, I've never seen that anyone try to steal or use somebody else's store name. So I haven't seen that as a problem. The only thing I've ever seen is the only problem as far as copyright are two different things. So the first one I've seen is where I make a really good video and somebody else downloads it and uses it in their ads. And then when I find out about it, I just hire somebody to send a cease and desist to Shopify and to Facebook, and then they usually lose their ad account. So that's the copyright problem number one. The second copyright problem is when you pick if you by chance pick a counterfeit product on AliExpress. So things that have well-known brands from the United States or Europe are almost always counterfeit. So, for example, if I found a Disney product, a product that had a Disney character on it, well, that's obviously a counterfeit. If I saw like Nike shoes on AliExpress, that's going to be counterfeit. So when the products I pick on AliExpress, none of them have they usually have no brand at all, or have some sort of Chinese brand that is not spelled correctly. That's not a big deal. Okay. So that's as far as copyright, those are the only two things I've seen as problems, is people stealing, a video that I've made, or people that or someone pick something on AliExpress that's actually counterfeit. Okay, all right. Yes, so you have a separate Facebook page per product. That's my preference, is to do that. So it's easy to set up a page. Just create a page in my business manager, and then I'll get some images for the the little square, and then I post at least 3 things on the page, just so it doesn't look empty. Okay, so this is the Shopify store that I started today. What do you think? Okay, let me take a look. Okay, you need to turn off the password protection. I've forgotten where that is. Let's see. That's under it's under online store and preferences, and go in there, and so go to inside your Shopify menu, go to online store preferences, and then the bottom option in there, uncheck enable password, and then click the save button, and then I can see it. Okay, let me know when that's done. Okay, I have a domain, but I connected it to Shopify. Is that what you mean? Yes. So then you set it inside of the inside of Shopify. You could buy the domain through Shopify, and then make it inside the domain settings. You just make it your primary domain. So you go to online store, and then domains, and then you select your domain and make sure it's set for the primary domain, and that's it. Okay, you want to, yes. So if you want me to take a look at your store, just share that domain name in the chat. Okay, these are on 2 in the morning. These are on at 2 in the morning here in Ireland. No, you recommend that we make these calls. I do shift work, and then okay, great. They are recorded, yes, and they're posted usually the next day. Okay. Well, it'd be probably best that you send me the questions before the call, and then I'll just answer them at the beginning. Okay. So if you can't attend, just post your questions in the Facebook group. The only exception to that is if you have any questions, they should be posted in the Facebook group. The only exception to that is if it's product related or store related, and then on these weekly calls are the right place. But if you can't make it because it's 2 in the morning, then you'll need to email me that information. But all of the questions should be in the Facebook group. Then the next thing is, if you want it answered on the call, then you just need to email that to me. But that would be only questions related to a specific product and your store that would require me to look at the product or look at the store. Otherwise, you can put your questions for the call. You see me posted on Monday, just put your question there, or just put in the group. I'll just answer it that same day. So you can always put your questions in the group. Okay, this is just so we can have more of a dialogue. We can communicate a lot more with questions and answers all at the same time. Okay, let's see. Okay. All right, so how do I put 3 collection images on homepage? Well, okay, so I don't put collection images on my homepage. I only have products on the homepage, and then I have the names of the collections are on. To keep it really simple to get started, just put some products. Okay, so understand the purpose of your store. So let's I don't want to get too. I don't want to get the number one. Like, one of my big rules is don't get caught up on making your store look perfect. That's something you can do at some other time. So primarily, what you're going to do is you're set up your store so you can collect money. So just keep it simple. If you get stuck on some particular thing inside of the store, then remember Shopify is, it's a third-party platform. They have excellent customer service. You can always call them or get on their support chat. So if you get stuck with something, you can contact them anytime if something's not working. But I recommend it with your stores not to spend too much time on it. So you want the basic set. The most important part of your store is the product that you are promoting with a paid ad. And that's the page that needs to have a lot of work on it. Now, the front page of your store, I just recommend having some products show up on that front page, and then you're all set. Keep it simple. Don't spend too much time making your store pretty. I've seen hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of beautiful Shopify stores that have never sold a product ever. I've seen some really ugly stores that make millions. So it's whether you're making the store look great, that is not going to necessarily equal sales. But having a product page look real good and drive good traffic to it, you can make millions of dollars. Okay. All right, so the next one, do you have order status page on your stores? No. Nope. So by default, what will happen is when the orders fulfill, so if you use Shopify, and so it works like this: somebody orders on your store, and then you use like the Shopify app to order on AliExpress. Then once the seller on AliExpress ships the product, Shopify will take that tracking number and automatically update your store. I'm just giving you the simple outline of how that works. Exactly how it works, take a look at. And so that's basically what happens. So Shopify updates Shopify. Once Shopify receives that tracking number, an email is sent to your customer. And that email does not have the tracking number on it. It just says, hey, your order shipped. And then there's a button on that email that says, hey, click here for status. And then they click on that. It basically brings them back to your store and shows them the status of the tracking number, or it shows them the tracking number. So don't have to worry, but it's something you don't have to worry about by default. Shopify, the default setting in Shopify is to send notifications to the customer when they place an order and when it's shipped and then when it's delivered. All right, do you allow customers to track? Yep, the email solves that problem. It's already there. You don't have to do anything to make that happen. Okay, another product here from Lucia. This is people have been trying to sell this product for like the last 4 or 5 years. Okay, so there's nothing. Yeah, this is a neat product, but yeah, it's been around for a long time. Okay, I think that is done now. Please try again. Okay, let me try your store again. Okay, now of course you need to get a domain for your store, and this looks so far this looks great. Okay, and then check out. Let me hit check out. Okay, let me put in my. I'm just gonna check out your checkout. Okay, continue the payment method. It looks great. That looks great. Great, very, very good. That looks great. You're all set. Your store is set up. So get those products coming in. Okay. I redirected my site to Shopify, but it shows in the web address. Okay, so now what I'd like you to do is you keep pasting in the myshopify.com address. Please type in the domain in the chat. Okay. Okay, is there a way to hide the Shopify? Yes, if you select it, if you select your domain as primary. Do you always have a separate page for each add product, meaning not homepage? I don't know what that means. Separate page for, that's only the pages are used for running ads. So that's a page on Facebook, not a page on Shopify. I believe Oberlo will also update tracking just like Dropify. Okay, so okay, now I've got your domain. Let me try it. Okay, so in order to make this, yeah, let me see. Okay, this looks good, but you need to select the domain. All right, so you need to go into, you need to make your domain primary. Okay, that's, you go into your setup and go to online store and then domains, and then go click on the, it'll say third part, or it'll say wherever it says your domain, and then you make it primary. Okay, so up in the upper right hand side, there's a menu option that says change primary domain, and then you just click the radio box and then click save, and you're all done. Okay, Penny, did you, I hope you understand. You just go into online store, domains, and then up in the upper right-hand corner, it says change primary domain, and then that'll take care of that. Now, if this, let me know if you have that option, because, okay, so just let me know. Okay, Lucia, the next product. Yeah, that is, okay, so that's another one of these that's kind of been around for a long time, and that it has a low perceived value. This is just a, you know, it's just a, you know, a chord when it comes down to it. Okay, so yeah, it's a low perceived value. You couldn't charge much money for that. It would be hard to be profitable with that. Okay, so when setting up an ad, I'm having problems with picture sizing for the ad. Okay, so my recommendation is to do video ads. Do you have the product on hand? Because I've stopped using image ads over 3 years ago because they just don't work very well. So if you want to try an image, so you just go into Google. So I don't do image ads at all anymore. So Google, let's say Facebook ad size. Facebook. I should know. It's been so long since I've done a an image ad. Let me see if I can find Facebook link post. So Facebook image. All right, so for your like a link post, you're going to do something like this size. So let me put this in the chat. This is like for a link post, and then that's what it is. Yeah. So now if you're going to do a photo post, then it would just be you're just going to do a photo post, which might be better. You just do a square. But so the upper, so let's see, this is a link post. Link post is the one that has like the call to action button. And a photo post. Photo post does not have a call to action button. It just it's just a photo, and you just have to make sure the URL shows up in the description. Kind of like when you see t-shirt ads. They're just the big square image, and then the description and the link is up inside the text. Okay, you said I will have a, oh, okay, domain. Well, okay, so, okay, the question on the domain, you said I'll have a domain. Do you recommend something like, no, well, that's your name. I wouldn't recommend your own name in there. Just pick something. So first off, you need to give your store a name. There has to be, you have to call it something, and usually the domain should be the same, same or similar to the name of the store. So if I have a store called Ashley Jill, I want to call it ashleyjill.com. So, and I recommend for your first store to do a general store. So that's a store where you don't have a niche at all. And so what you do is it's a general store is a store where you can sell anything in it. But you do need a domain for your store. Okay. All right. Okay, Facebook page. Okay, you only need to set up the page when you're setting up your ad. I'm not recommending that. That's my preference. It's okay if you do a store page or you do individual pages. It's a personal preference. It doesn't matter. You could do this. You could have one page. So if your store was called, Joe's Gadget, Bob's Gadget Store, then you could have a Bob's Gadget Store page and promote everything off that page. That's fine too. I'm not recommending one or the other. It's my preference to do a page for the product. Okay, that's my preference, but it's not my recommendation. It's a personal preference. Either way works fine. All right, so Lucia, you got another product. Now that looks good, but understand, so this is, okay, I'm gonna just type the name of this niche to you because I've seen not a lot of success in this niche. Okay, so let me just type it in here. Okay, hold on if I can. Okay, this niche, Lucia, I've seen it very difficult to get things to convert. Okay, so looks like a really, really nice product. For that group of people, I've just not seen anything work. Okay, so, all right. So what type of name can I use to come up with it when I come up with the name of the store? Okay, so I don't know how to, I just come up with stuff that sounds interesting. So what I typically do is take two words and put them together. So you've seen it in the training, there's a store called Coyote Marley. I just took two words together, Coyote and Marley, and put them together. They don't mean anything at all. So I could so an easy way to do it is pick, what's your favorite tree? Okay, so my favorite tree is let me just say it's a fir tree. Well, let's say a pine tree. My favorite tree is a pine tree, and there's and the name of the street I live on is Hill. So call it pinehill.com. That's how I just come up with names. Take the name of a street, a name of a tree, a name of a river, a name of a mountain, name of a first name of a rock star, and put two words together, and there you go. You get you're going to come up with all sorts of different names. That's what I've come up with. So most of my store names, not all, but many of them have two words. I just suck them together, and they're usually easy. I'll have to check to make sure that the domain is available. Okay, so Penny, you've got a product here. Is this kind of a do-it-yourself thing? How much does this cost? Okay, so a product like this, you will need to do a video demonstration. Does it come with everything? Let me see. What does it come with? Oh, it does. Oh, neat. Well, okay, you're going to need to do a video demonstrating this, but I'm not sure how big is this audience? Who is your target audience, and how big is it? Have you looked at audience? That's the only thing I would be concerned about, is the audience and how big it is. Okay, so let's take a look here. Yeah, if it's a general store, I recommend a general store. Okay, Penny, you typed in a list of things. I'm not sure what that's for. You typed the list of things. What's that for? Yeah, Penny, I don't understand what you just sent me. So you put a list of things. I just don't know what that's for. Are these different products? So like that item's probably prohibited to sell on Facebook. Okay, that link you sent me to Google, it doesn't work. Let's see, Lucia, you've got another item here. Okay, so let me see what this does. Oh, okay. That looks really nice. Yeah, that you could probably, now you won't be able to charge a lot. You might see if you can sell it for like $14.95, maybe $19.95. But you could easily do a demonstration of this. This is probably might be a good item. It's probably very easy to do a demonstration of that. Oh, I mean, I have to say, it's definitely easy to demonstrate that. That looks kind of nice. That is neat. Okay, that looks, I like that. That is very cool. Yeah, I should get that. Okay. Okay, Penny, you've got the next problem here. Yeah, that's I don't think Facebook's going to allow you to sell that. That's actually products like that. They come under some state law in some states. So, for example, I can't buy these in California just online. I don't think it's legal to sell that in stores. So there's many states that just don't allow it. All right, because of what it is. Yeah, I'm looking at your product, Penny. I typed in the name of the product that I'm talking about. That in many states you can't buy those. All right. Anybody else? Let me see anything else here. Okay. Okay, just one more above. I didn't know what you thought. I'm not sure which first one. I typed the name of the one I saw. Okay, so you got some more things in here. Okay, let's take a look. So apparel is something you need to make sure. So apparel, one of the reasons why I don't recommend it is because the sizing doesn't match up. So you'll definitely need to order a number of samples to make sure you understand how the sizes on AliExpress translate into what people expect in the United States. So you probably want to buy like a medium, large, extra large, maybe an XL2, and see if you can get some people to try it on that match, so you know what you're dealing with. You might even take some measurements so you know the length and so forth. So that's and then you'll need to have somebody model this. But these, I mean, it looks really, really neat. I'm not sure who you're going to target for that. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so Lucia, next product. I'm not sure who the target audience is for this USB thing, Lucia. I'm not sure who this is for. I don't know who would buy this. I'm not sure if that's a problem looking to be solved. And so you have to. I'm not sure if it's $10.28. You can certainly demonstrate it, but I'm not sure if it's really a problem looking to be solved. Okay, so let me find. Okay, I gotta close some windows here. Okay. All right, let's see what else is here. And do you ever do live trainings? Well, this is it. What would you, Chris? What are you looking for? We do. This is the time where we do the Q&A. What question do you have? So yeah, Chris, let me know. Okay. So yeah, Chris, whatever. This is the time to ask the questions. We can do it right here. So just let me know. So this is, what live training would you like to know more about? Okay. What is the email? We can email you if we need to regarding products, ads, store. Okay, that's only for if you need. That's okay. So in this program, we have the Facebook group and we have this weekly call. So that would if you're going to email me about a specific product or to review your store, it needs to be sent. Send it to me on Wednesday earlier on in the day. So I'll answer it at the beginning of the call if you can't be here. But that's just for things that you can't share in the group, which I don't recommend. Don't share your stores, don't share your products or your video ads. This is only, so you just send it to frank@frankkeeney.com. Okay, and that would be something just do it get it in there at least an hour before I start the call, and then I'll answer those questions at the beginning or very soon at the beginning. Okay, so I see your niche, Penny, and let me just 1 second here. I'm going to answer Chris's message. Okay. One second, just answering Chris. Excuse me. Okay. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, this is a product from Penny. Let's take a look. Yeah, this is that. I mean, I don't have what would go into this, but and now just understand this is this niche is very competitive, and you won't be the first. You know, many people there will have seen things like this for a very, very long time. Okay, so just understand that I've worked with people that sell in this niche, and you know, to be successful in this niche, it takes this. I mean, this looks like a great item, but I'm just letting you know so you don't waste your time on it. Is this an extremely competitive niche? And those that are there have probably seen this product. You know, those that are in this niche on Facebook have probably seen this product hundreds of times. Okay. Okay, so let me go back here. And let's go. Oh, Pete's got something here. And oh, I think that's great. That's great. That's really great. I hope you're going to be the model in the video, right? You just I want to see that as it. I like that. No, that's great. It looks really great, and it definitely will get people's attention. It's just, you know, obviously you won't know until you try it. You know, it's like the and then let's see here. Okay. Yeah, I think that's great. It'd be a good thing to try. So if we cannot be on the call, where can we find the recording? It's posted in the Facebook group. So it's usually the day after. If you're in the Facebook group, you're looking for the replays, there's a little search box. You can search inside the Facebook group. Just search for replay. You'll see last week's replay. And so all of the replays are in the Facebook group from, you know, like from the beginning of time. Okay. Only ask as a local LA resident, thought there may be additional. You know, I've been thinking about doing something here in LA. I just haven't done it yet. I may do some sort of something one of these days, maybe some sort of meetup or something like that. That'd be fun. Yeah, I usually go to the ASD conference in Vegas, but I'm not going this in August. So I'd usually host a dinner there for everybody that showed up. But maybe we'll do something in the fall here in Los Angeles, just kind of a meetup or something with some sort of presentation or something like that. Okay, Penny has another item. And Okay. I'm not sure how you found this, Penny, but this was not that it wouldn't work again, but I saw this promoted a lot last summer and the summer before. But I haven't seen any ads for it this summer at all. You might give it a try. It's very, very inexpensive. You know, I mean, get it, do a video and see what happens. This group of people are certainly out there. Yeah, give it a try. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, looking into ecom store for youth at high school coaches. Okay. Okay, but Chris, I mean the chat's private. So what do you plan on selling? Yeah, you could definitely reach them on Facebook, but that's a very specialized niche. I'm sure you can reach those groups on Facebook. Okay, I see your niche down here. So yeah, okay, yeah, you'll need. So I mean, it sounds like some of these are videos that you sell, and if you can get permission to actually use that as pieces of it in ads, that might work real well. Okay, Penny's got another item here. Okay, so I see this accessory for a car. I mean, it's a neat thing. I'm just not sure. So understand when you're demonstrating this, somehow in the video, there's a reason why someone needs to buy that. I'm not, and immediately in my mind, I'm not coming up thinking, nothing's popping in my head about why I should buy this. That's just telling you what I'm thinking about. So but let's take a look at that and see. Okay, let me yeah. Oh, so yeah, Penny, I just what is the issue? I mean, do you see? I mean, when I ask myself with products, I say, well, what would I use it for? And a lot of the things that I sell actually end up being things that I use too. That's how I kind of work with my products. Is I'll usually find it, not always, but in many cases, that if I use it and I can find it useful, that'll come through in my ad, and then that gives me a really good way of demonstrating it. Okay, just because there's a lot of orders on AliExpress does not equal a successful product on Facebook, and I would highly recommend to ignore the sales numbers. I only use the sales numbers as an indicator that, and then I look at the reviews. I just want to see the sales numbers just to confirm that people are happy with the product, but it is not an indicator that the product will be successful in an ad. Okay. So yeah, specifically any sort of sales, I want to find a seller that's selling many of them, and then I want to make sure that there's good feedback on the product. But the number of that product being purchased is not a deciding factor for me in my selection of a product to promote, because there's many millions of things on AliExpress that have sold thousands and thousands, and they're probably the vast majority are not suitable for an ad. Okay. All right. Anything else? Let me see, find my way back to the screen. Okay, print on demand is fantastic. It is, but the difference between, of course, print on demand and picking something from a supplier is with print on demand, you are the product creator. So you need to come up with the design and any to sell that product. So print on demand is fantastic if you understand your niche and you can put together designs that resonate with your target audience. It's absolutely fantastic if you can do that. So you are print on demand, you're creating a product, and with other products you are choosing products. It's so if myself as I'm back in decades ago, department stores used to have like customer service. They'd have people there that would actually help people pick gifts for people, and we're kind of, as Facebook, as Shopify store owners and advertisers on Facebook, we're kind of like those gift consultants. We're trying to find something that people in a group. We have these people here, and we're trying to find things that they'll be interested in buying. Oh yeah, Penny, you do one ad per design. Yep. So so typically in a print on demand, just like picking products, you're going to have you're going to test designs, and there will be many that don't work, and then just like anything else, you're going to have things that work and things that don't. So you go through the process of getting designs, testing them on an audience, and if that doesn't work, you get another one and test it on an audience. Yes. So when you run an ad, it's one ad, one product. Okay, Sebastian, this question comes up about apps. I use as few apps as I can get away with. I'm not a big believer in loading up my store with apps. It will make your store load time slower. So I recommend the minimum apps possible. So when you're starting off, just put your Facebook pixel information inside Shopify. That's free. There's apps that will handle the Facebook pixel, but I don't recommend doing those until later on when you're starting to sell a lot of products. So you don't need that. When you start selling products, the first thing I recommend that you put into your store when you're going to start making sales is put in an app called Abandonment Protector, and it's excellent for it. It automatically, there's this email sequence that it can send out to people that abandon cart. Other than that, let me see. I don't really, and then Dropified, of course. If you're doing fulfillment, Dropified, Abandonment Protector, Quantity Break app is really good, but that's also. But every app that you add into your store costs money. So when you're starting off, get kind of things up and going, and don't be too eager to install a whole bunch of apps. But the two I really recommend, well, three: Quantity Breaks, Abandonment Protector, and Dropified, because those Dropified makes your drop shipping much easier, and Abandonment Protector has an email sequence to get people back in and finish their checkout, and Quantity Breaks really helps people do buy. It helps people. It gives them an incentive to buy more of the same item. Okay. Do you think you could do photos instead of video? For print on demand, photos are usually perfectly fine. But I highly recommend I highly recommend videos for like consumer products that people use that need some form of demonstration. That's my recommendation. But yeah, print on demand, usually, not always, but usually a image is fine. Okay, anything else? Any other questions? Well, at least $5 a day, and you probably want to let it run 3 or 4 days. And in many cases, you're going to want to run multiple ad sets to the same ad. And so, for example, what I typically do is when I do my audience insights research, I do a like if I'm going to sell something that like a tools for people that work on their house. Well, I'm going to go look at the brands that people buy, the stores where they buy them from, and then magazines. And so for that group of people, I may run 3 different ad sets because there's 3 different categories of targeting. So it may end up being 3 ad sets, going to that same ad, that same post. And so so that's like 50, start at $5 a day. And so that's going to be $15 a day for about 4 days. So that way you'll get it also when you run multiple targeting, you'll see a difference between the performance between each of those ad sets. And that's very, very beneficial. Sometimes, after a couple days, you'll see, 1 or 2 of them isn't doing very well at all. You turn them off. You leave the ones on there that are working well. Are you seeing CPAs go up recently? I see it go up and down. So like, Monday, and this is not across the board. And so I have some ads where like I have one niche that I'm selling a lot of stuff in, and like usually Sundays and Mondays, just like it's kind of a pattern I see. Sundays and Mondays it sells really great. Tuesday's never so great. Wednesday is kind of okay, and then Thursday gets better. Friday is really great, and Saturday is so-so. So I just see it going up. I see it go up and down. Now, what I do is I really look at my metrics. So I typically start things off where it's both Instagram and Facebook, and then as time goes by, I start really looking. Okay, if it's costing me, $10 per purchase, depending on my product. Say for example, Instagram's costing me $10 per purchase, but Facebook's only costing me $6. Well, next time what I might do is next time when I scale, I may duplicate that ad set, and the next one's going to be set up with just the targeting that's the lowest price. Yeah, Steve, I see it up and down, up and down, up and down. I've been doing some recent testing with manual bidding with mixed results. It's just, it's manual. It's not quite working the way it did like a year ago. All right, and then those of you that have run any new ads in the last week or so, at least on my ads manager, the what do you call it? The campaign creation has changed, and it's much better than it was. It allows you to kind of fill the whole thing in before you push the publish, which is kind of like the way the Power Editor used to be about a year ago. And so big improvement, in my opinion. Much easier to duplicate, less things to fuss with, and fewer errors when you're updating. Anybody else? Any other questions? So you would share, okay, when will you review an ad and a video? How will we share it with you? So you're going to share it here on these calls. And so the chat is private. Now, if you in a if you just have a video done, you need to put it in like Dropbox or on a YouTube channel or someplace where some sort of file sharing where you can temporarily turn off. I usually recommend Dropbox, and so you just put your video file in there, then share the link here in the chat, and I'll watch the video and give you some ideas. And so one of the most valuable things in what we're doing now is especially when you're actually making the videos, because I've worked with so many people on videos for the last few years, and I can really get that working for you. Okay, and the ad text, you can just paste that in the chat. And if the ad is already set up, there's a share link inside of the ads manager. You can actually share a preview link, and that's pretty easy. Or you can just paste the text in the chat. But the video, the ad copy training is what you use for your ad copy and your text callouts and your product page. All right. Anything else? Okay. Okay, you said one more thing. Are you typing something? No, am I duplicating ad sets to scale? No, I'm not. I've had so much trouble with duplicating ad sets. So what I typically do is I'll scale an ad set, and I'll just scale the budget. But when I'm switching, say for example, I see that Instagram or Facebook, one of the two is a lot less expensive than the other, then I will duplicate, and then the new one will only have the lowest cost placement in it. Steve, have you been doing duplicating ad sets? And if you are, how's that working? I personally have not found that to work very well on rare occasions. What I find when I duplicate to scale, then it's a constant, what will happen is, one will eventually work and another one will die. It's usually the one with the biggest budget. Is that what you're seeing? That's what I see. That's when I started going to budget scaling, because it was, roughly, yeah. I think, yeah. And let's take a look here. All right. All right. Let me see. Let me go back here. Well, if you can do it two different ways. So I've also found that doubling the budget works too. It just, when I do that though, they both can falter, but it happens faster when you do a budget. So I've done many with 20% increases, and 100% increases work too. But what I find is, this is one of the reasons why I really pay a lot of attention to the quality of the ad, the quality of the video, and the ad copy, and all those things. So the better what I find is the better my marketing is, the easier it is to scale. So if I've got something that I've got some really great imagery, my target audience is really going for it and buying, it seems like all of the scaling methods work. I can increase my budget 20% or 100%. 20% or 100%, and they both work. 100, that's it. You know, I found as much, no, you know, you need to test this. So try it one of these times, try it at 20%, and be a little bit adventurous. So you should dedicate a little bit of your ad spend to experimenting. So you might want to try someday, just instead of, maybe take it from $100 to $160 and see what happens. So do that, like, if you've seen a trend where there's kind of a spike in traffic, make that budget change maybe 3 or 4 hours before, like, you get a typical spike of traffic. Okay, if I come up with a few product ideas tomorrow or the day after, would I share them with you next Wednesday? Yeah, just then it would be for next Wednesday. So this is our time one-on-one is on the Wednesday calls. And if you can't be here, just send them to me, before the call, the same day. Don't send it to me, a week in advance. Just send it to me the same day, and then I'll include that in that call. Okay, come up with a few product ideas tomorrow or the day after. Would I share them to you next Wednesday? Yes. And then order them. Then I don't need to order something that will not work. Well, okay, when I look at a product, I don't know what will work or will not, but I know the general attributes of things that work. So, I mean, the obvious, you've heard me critique other people's products. So I'm just going to go through, like, okay, if it's something you have to use underwater, well, that's really difficult to do a demonstration underwater. If it's something you have to do at night, I'm going through, if I've seen that product being advertised 100 times from, 1,000 different other Shopify sellers, I'm going to tell you that too. So it's all those kinds of things. I mean, I've been seeing I certainly have not seen every ad on Facebook, but I've seen lots of ads on Facebook. So all those kinds of things, and if I've tried it and it has never worked, and I had or if I've worked with someone else, I've had many people ask me about products that I've worked with others to try to sell them, and so I can let you know that something, because I see patterns. Like so far today on this call, I've seen at least 3 or 4 products that either somebody else I've worked with has tried to sell, or I've seen it already on Facebook ads. So I just want you to keep you away from products that don't have a good chance of selling. Okay. Yeah, so you certainly don't want to order, that's what the purpose of this call is, if it's something I've seen, or I know that and I see this over and over, where people seem to find some of the same things that have been sold over the years. That way I can just warn you, so you don't have to buy the product and spend the time on making an ad. In the end of the day, even if you find something that's really, really looks cool and I get excited about it, I don't know if it's going to work or not. The marketplace will tell you if they want it or not. So that's when you find out if it works, is when you run the advertising. In that way, it's good to come with many different products ideas. Yeah, but don't give me 100 products here. Around 10 is probably fine. But show me the best things. And yeah, that's right. And then then you can order this. Yep. All right. Okay, anything else? Anybody else? Any other questions? Anything else? Okay. All right, it is not for the moment. Okay, so remember the Facebook group should be your primary place for questions, as long as it's not specific to a product or specific to your store. And if it's something related to setting up your theme or something, a general Shopify thing, then use the Facebook group. If it's a general product selection, that's fine, or questions about ads or anything, the Facebook group is there for you. It's just things, like, most people don't want to share their products because, there are people, unfortunately, there are people that will take ideas. I'm sure nobody here would, but just to keep things private, just specific products and then something specific to your store. Excuse me. I tried to find the mute button first, but didn't get it. But yeah, use the Facebook group for everything except for specific products and like a video review or something like that. All right. All right, I'm going to end the call. I'm not seeing any more questions. Everybody have a great evening and a wonderful weekend, and look forward to your questions in the Facebook group and to our next call next Wednesday. All right, everybody have a great evening. You're welcome, and talk to you soon. You're welcome, Steve. Thanks for joining in.